Okay, so I thought this morning, Jake sort of said, share a bit of my journey. And some of you might know some of these stories and some of you might not. But my prayer today is that you just take something away. So wherever you're at in your journey, I hope me just sharing stories or sharing what I've experienced on this roller coaster. Don't like roller coasters, but I'm on one. So that you guys just take something that you can apply in your world. I wrote my notes down because our printer doesn't work, so I'm going to muddle through. I think it'll be great. That's what you. Oh, there it is. Right, I've got my pages right. That's why I numbered them, because I've got chemo brain. Okay, so for me, on the 10th of February this year, I got probably one of the worst news you could probably receive. For me, when the doctors sort of told us in the waiting room, there's two responses when you go into a doctor. And one, I was sitting there just sort of going, they've obviously found something because they don't call your husband in with you. And so you're ticking that little moment. And obviously took Rick with me, who Googled and wrote notes on his phone, and I probably just sat there with a blank look on my face. Not happy this happened the day before my birthday, not real impressed with that. Wrong timing. But yeah, so obviously we got the news of having cancer. I don't know about you. I'm a very think person, talk person, and try and put into perspective what's just happened. So I was at home that night, obviously laying in bed, thinking all the questions that you probably would ask yourself. You know, why did this happen? What's the go with it? How do you deal with it? How do you tell your kids tomorrow on my birthday? You know, all of these questions. And then you put your faith into it and go, then I wrestle with God. And I don't know about you and how you work, but this is how I work. I call myself, I have chats. So I sit there and go, righto, God, what's going on? What's happening? Why is this happening? What am I meant to do? What's this journey look like? And I don't want to know the first couple of days. I want to know like the outcome, which is down here somewhere. That would be helpful. And obviously you don't get that. So I was laying in bed, looking at the ceiling, wrestling. And I remember this is a bit deja vu for us, or especially for me. And I was laying in bed and I felt the Lord take me back to our son Luke. For those who don't know, our Luke had cancer as a little bubs. And we got the news of that one, and then I was put in hospital, obviously, with Luke because he was only 8 months old. And it's almost like I remember that same timing, sitting in the John Hunter, looking at the ceiling going, how can this happen to a little baby, and why, and all the questions that come with that. And I remember God took me back to this verse, and it's in Deuteronomy 3:16. And you know what? Sometimes I believe that God just gives you those verses to hang on to. And when the tough times come, I don't know whether you got one, but if you don't have one, let's find one. Because when you get to those moments, you've got to go there. You've got to grab onto something. And so these are some verses. And the verse that really stood out to me was in Deuteronomy 3:16. And I love it. It says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. And for me, that's it. And I came to the point that night, laying in bed, going, you know what? I choose to do that. Somewhere along the line, you've got to choose. You can go there and you can do whys and you can do all that. And speaking from experience, it doesn't work. It's not a good place to go to. But I remember laying in bed and going, all right, God, I choose that verse over my life. So you know what? Whatever happens in this journey, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be courageous. And every day I get up in the morning and go, I'm going to be strong and I'm going to be courageous. Now, does that mean that everything's worked and there's a magic wand and everything's back to normal and it's fantastic? No, it's not. but I choose to be strong and courageous in him. And the other part of that verse that has been my rock is this verse. And it says, the Lord your God goes with you. Just put that in your world. Just put that line in your word. Wherever you go, wherever you're at, wherever what's going on, he is with you. And I can't even fathom how big God is. It does my head in even trying to think about it. But he's with you. He's with you. He's with us now. He's with us tomorrow. He's with you at work. He's with you. And I just say to God every morning, you're with me, let's go. Let's go. He's not going to leave me. I could leave him, but he's not going to leave me. And I think once you choose those things in your world will change. It will change. 100%. Guarantee. It will change when you start putting God in your world. So obviously the next day we told our family. The one person that I probably struggled with to tell was my mum. And for people who have met my mum, she's in Queensland, she's 92, she's an absolute fireball, like me. No, I'm probably like her, that works. And a great Christian lady. And I remember Rick saying to me, this is like 2 days after, I remember Rick saying to me, it's probably a good idea you tell your mum. And I'm like, oh, I can't tell mum. I can't tell her. And I struggled. I really absolute rock, part of my life every day nearly. I just couldn't tell her. It was really weird. And he would come out and go, have you rung your mum yet? I'm like, no. I should have said you ring her. And it's those moments where I remember just ringing her, and I think I cried for the first 10 minutes. She honestly thought my whole family had died because I just couldn't talk. And she's like, you need to say something. And I'm like, okay, And I said, I have cancer, Mum. And she went, okay. And before I could even tell her anything, her first lines were, let's pray. She didn't even know what she was probably praying, but she prayed, and she gave me this verse the next day. And I'm amazed that I love it when people hear things, and similar to what Jake said, it looks crazy, it might look messy, you might not understand it, but when you step out and you share something with somebody, it might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to them. And sometimes we've got to step out of that and be strong and courageous and go, you know what? This is a verse I think for you, or I just wanted to make you a slice. It's blessing. It's amazing. It's all those things that come together. So my mum gave me this verse. I didn't even know this verse existed in the Bible. And so she sent me this verse, Psalm 41, 1-3. And it says, God blesses those who are kind to the poor. He helps them out of their troubles. He protects them and keeps them alive. He nurses them when they are sick and soothes their pain and worries. I read that and just went, that's perfect. And again, didn't know it was even probably in the Word. And the journey that's been, that verse, is when that same thing, when troubles hit, this is what you have to hang on to. You just got to hang on to it. And they were two of the verses that came very, that verse. But the thing that I love is during the 5 months of that journey, so I'm not even on the journey now, I've just come out of it. On that journey I love it how God confirms things. I have no doubt there's a God, none. Because even I've never doubted that, but more so this journey where I've seen so much of God just come into my world where I can't explain it. So I got that verse at the beginning. In surgery, someone sent me that verse again, and her name's Jill, who we know, sent me some photos of the farm and a birthday cake and different things, and then put this verse in, and I went, wow. And then I think it was a couple of days later, a senior minister, Sanger from Hillsong, sent us the same verse. So this is how God works. And he just goes, obviously, this is what I felt, and people acted on it. And so my encouragement is, when you get something, act on it. Do something. Step out of your zone. Don't just sit there and go, oh, that's nice, you know. I feel this could be for somebody, or I feel to do this, or I feel to make a cake. I don't know, whatever it is. It can be anything. And I am so blessed by this church of what has come through on the messages. I have read every text message that's come through. And I have seen it. And I have seen the love, and I know the prayer, and it works. I can tell you now it works. And I don't know how people can go through this journey without God in it. I can't fathom it, to be honest, because the love and the verses and the songs and the messages and the funny little emojis I get, that was Steve Poulton, man of many words, Steve Poulton. I get my prayer, my little prayer emoji, and then I get a weird one. So I could get a fish or a cat. But they mean the world to me. I wake up in the morning, here's Steve Poulton with his little, I go, oh, it's going to be a good day. Got me prayer, got me fish, or whatever it is. But they're the things that people go, you know what, I'm just going to send that. And that's my encouragement. Whatever God's doing with you, do it for someone else. I've had great people that have taken on our family, and our Jace up the back there too has taken on our boy Jack. And it's just been incredible. Taking him to the footy, taking him to the V8s, like incorporating that world. And it might not always be a scripture verse or a, you know, or a prayer or stuff like that. You might go, oh, I don't do that. Doesn't matter. Just do something. And do something for someone else. It's like with Alexa, with Josh. I'm just going to pray. I've never been knocked back anyone ever in my life, and I'm 21 and a bit. You can work out the rest. No, I'm 52. Am I 52? I don't know how old I am. I missed a birthday this year, so that's it. I am not. I've never been knocked back when I've asked someone to pray. Can I pray for you? In all my life, I've never been knocked back. And sometimes you might get knocked back, but that's when you be strong and courageous. You might get a no. So, what are you going to do? Pray harder. Secretly pray, like this. I just pray for them sitting over there in the corner who won't let me pray for them. No, you can do that, can you? I don't know. I'm just going to start that. But during this journey, I just want to share a couple of... oh, look, is that... Oh, no, it's all right. I'm just looking at the clock thinking, what time did I start? I don't know. Just cut me when you want me to be cut. So I want to share just some God moments through this journey. And again, I'm just blessed at what can happen when you put God in your world. So here's a couple for you. So when we first got the news, I think it was a Thursday, and they say to you, oh, we'll put a referral into the MARTA. You'll probably hear next week sometime, and then you go from there, and, you know, you just sort of wait out. But if you haven't heard from about Wednesday or so, give me a call, my doctor, and, you know, we'll keep sort of on to them so that you get the referral appointment. And I went, okay. So I thought, great, more time at Seoul before they get me. This is going to be great. So, you know, I came to Seoul, and on the Tuesday, again, I got a phone call from a pastor who used to be in our church at Victory, and he rang me. I was in here, and he said, oh, I just want to ring up and say I really felt this morning that I should pray for you once a week. So whether it's on the phone or face-to-face, but I want to commit to once a week, we line up a time and I just pray. And I went, okay. He's got an amazing gift, he believes, of healing, and he's seen it. And he's down at Pelican, that area, and a great friend of ours. Anyway, he said, oh, is there anything I can pray for? And I said, oh, I can pray for this referral thing. You know, we need this referral to get it moving, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, where are you going? I said, oh, the MARTA Oncology, I think. I don't really know. Rick knows more. You could ring him. And he goes, oh, let me make a call for you. I said, all right, you can make a call. And he said, I know one of the head guys over there, one of the doctors in oncology. I said, all right, give him a ring, see what happens, you know. Anyway, in an hour he rang me back and he said, I've spoken to this guy, I can't remember his name, and he said, he would like to take you on, but he thinks it's better that you get this doctor, Dr. Longbard, because she specialises in ovarian cancer. So we've got you in with her. So she'll probably ring either this afternoon or tomorrow and you'll have your referral. That doesn't happen. You know, they're the God moments that have come through. And I went, 2:00 that afternoon, got the appointment. They rang up, I think it was the next day or close to it. And that's how God moves. And it's those yes moments. Craig rang and said, do you need prayer? And I said, yep. And sometimes we just got to say yes. Do you want some prayer? Oh, no, I'm struggling. I don't need prayer. No. That's ridiculous. Let's just be honest. It should be yes. Always should be yes. Don't struggle by yourself. You know, it's easy. I know people, not anyone here, but people out there would go, oh, no, I don't want to tell people. And it is hard to ask for help. It is hard sometimes, but sometimes we need it because this is what happens when we say yes, is we let the opportunities happen and we let what God's doing happen. And that's one of the things I've learned. Just before that, on the Thursday, I was at my doctor's. Rick was in Adelaide, and just before we got the news on the following day, and my doctor said, oh, you need a CAT scan. I went, oh, yeah, righto. This is like cord to 5. I don't really know what all these scans do, to be honest. And about 4:45, I'm at the doctor's at Mayfield, and he goes, oh, you need a CAT scan, and we'll look at some stuff. And I went, oh, yeah, okay, righto. Is that like an ultrasound? Yeah, okay. I don't know. And so 4:45, Thursday afternoon, and he goes, oh, I'll make a call, we'll book it in for next week. You'll be lucky probably to get in for a while, but hopefully by end of next week you'll have a CAT scan. I went, okay, fair call. Anyway, he's on the phone, ringing up the imaging place at Waratah, and he's talking away, and he goes, oh, yeah, right, yeah, okay. Hangs up, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. And he goes, do you reckon you can be at Waratah? You can leave now and get there? They've got a spot for you. So I had a CAT scan at Waratah at about 5 to 5 on Thursday and got the results on the Friday. It doesn't happen. Like, I just sit back and go, right, okay. I just say yes. I just go, yep, I don't know. But that's what happens. And so I rock up, CAT scan, done all that. And it's all of those little things that are God moments. And sometimes, do I want to be totally healed and not have cancer and instantly? Not that I'm impatient at all. Maybe God's teaching me patience, I don't know. But sometimes we want all that, but we miss all the moments along the way. And I just said to God, I'm with you. And we just go. And whatever day I wake up and go, let's just keep going. Let's just do what's happening, and keep going. So that was a couple of my little God moments along my journey. And then I've probably got 2 more that I wanted to share with you. Is I love it when Jake hinted on it this morning. Things get messy or things don't make sense, or you sort of go, that's a bit weird, you know. And I've probably had 2 of those weird things happen to me. So one was, like Jake said, we were youth pastors at Victory years ago. And I used to have this young guy that used to come. I just call him, I had 2 of them actually, a girl and a guy, and they were about 12 to 14 years old. This is what scares me a little bit, or doesn't scare me, makes me a bit nervous. I've never seen probably more of a prophetic gifting on young people like I did in these 2. And they would give me sometimes, not very often, but every now and then they would come up and say, Sue, I really sense it. This is to like the youth pastor. Anyway, they would walk up to me, and I used to have this 13-year-old little kid called Kale, and he comes stropping up to me, and he go, I've been praying for you, and I think I've got a word or whatever it is for you. And I seriously can say it was like reading my mail. at 13. And I haven't seen him for a while. I've seen him on and off over the years, but not, I'm not in regular contact with him. I get this phone call. This is just before surgery. Hey, it's Kale. I'm already going, okay. Have you been praying or something? That's terrible, isn't it? And he said to me, I've got a left field one for you. Of course you have. I said, yeah, okay. And he goes, I want to come around and wash your feet. That was a nasty comment then, wasn't it? I did hear that out of the corner of my ear then, thought don't respond, Sue, but I did anyway. And I don't know whether you've read that about, Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Anyway, I said, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. I'm thinking, that's weird. Like if I said to you, how many in the last 10 years has had someone give you a random phone call that they want to come around to your house and wash your feet? I don't know. You might have that happen every week. I don't know, but it's a bit weird for me. And so we read, he came round and he's got his bucket, God love him. He's probably 30 now, I don't know. Anyway, he's got his bucket, he's got his Epsom salts. And he goes, I've never done this before, but I'm like, great. I don't know. So I said, this is just bizarre. Let's just be honest. Like, you're 30-year-old bloke coming around to my house to wash my feet. I don't know. And I said, okay. And I said, what made you do it? I just said, what inspired? Is it inspired? I don't even know. I said, what made you do this? And he said, do you remember years ago? So years ago, Rick and I used to run a thing called Unleashed, which was a massive big youth conference in the city. So this is going back a little while. I don't want to say how long because it makes me look old. But it would be probably, 20? Too long? Oh, see, too long. And he said, do you remember 20 years ago at Unleashed, youth conference, he goes, you washed people's feet. And I went, oh. And he said, you got pushback for it. And he said, you went in this room, you got a bucket and you're washing people's feet. I went, oh, did I? I don't know, I'd forgotten. And he goes, but you didn't do it like the disciples washing Jesus' feet. You washed feet for healing. And he'd remembered it. And I went, oh, okay. And I said, did I wash your feet and pray for you to get healing? And he goes, no. And I went, oh, okay. He said, well, I didn't need healing. I went, oh, well, that's good. But it impacted him. And he said, I was reading the scripture about washing feet and I felt to come round and do it. So he came round, 5-10 minutes, prayed, washed my feet, left. I don't know. But that's a God moment. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we've just got to go, that's weird, that's unusual. I probably wouldn't ring you. I could ring you this week. I'm coming around to wash your feet. I don't know. But you know what? That's what God led him to do. And he was obedient and he'd done it. And that's what we've got to do, is be obedient to when those little voices and the little whispers come to do something. That's when we be obedient to do it. My other one, which has been, this is, I don't probably have favourites. This is probably one of my favourites. Is our Crawford man. Rick comes home and goes to me, your friend at church is giving you this flag. He's probably going to go, I wish you'd iron it and look after it. Anyway, it's been everywhere. It's great. So I got this flag. Again, let's be really real and honest. What would you do with that? No, serious. Like if someone sort of went, oh, here's, so I'd sat it there for a while and thought, okay, if I need healing, I don't know. Do I put it on me? Do I pray, and it's a bit awkward, being really honest. If you're not used to stuff, it'd be a bit weird. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful, I just mean it's a bit weird. Anyway, after I think my second lot of chemo, I got a bit of muscle pain in my leg. I'm laying in bed and I'm like, come on, God, I need to go to bed. I just want to go to sleep. And it was, I don't know, midnight or having a bit of whinge at me. And I'm thinking, I'm not taking pain. I I probably should take more painkillers. I don't know. And I'm like, I'm not taking painkillers. And I felt the voice. I felt this, get the flag. And I was like, what? What do I do with it? Anyway, so I get in bed and I'm like, okay, here we go. So I'm in bed and I've got the flag wrapped around my legs and I'm laying there. I don't know what I was expecting to happen, to be honest. And I'm laying there, I'm going, right, okay, God, here we go. It's a healing flag. Do I pray? Of course you do. A stupid question. And I said, okay, I'll pray for healing. Then I went, oh, but then I'm doubting this. So you're not going to heal me because I'm doubting. I'm like doubting Thomas in the Bible, and this is ridiculous. And then I'm having this wayward thought thing go on my head. And I went, you know what, God, I don't know. Let's just be honest. You can hear every thought anyway, and you know what I'm thinking, so I can't fake it. And I said, God, whatever you need to do with this healing flag over my legs, then you need to do it. And I can honestly tell you, I felt a peace from God I can't describe. And I felt this peace go through me. And I laid there and I shut my eyes and I went straight to sleep. And it's probably the best night's sleep I've had. Now it is. But it's glory too for being obedient. And you had the guts to come not really knowing and handing a flag. So when I went to surgery, I packed the flag. I thought if I'm getting anything done to me and whatever they're going to do to me, and I'm taking the flag with me. I'll show them. No, I didn't. But I took it with me. And I thought, oh, if I need it, I've got my flag, I'm ready. Okay, God, let's go. And so rocked up in surgery, did the surgery, I was in hospital, I think, for about 6 days. I told them, I said, on the 19th, I'm out. I've got to sleep out. Do what you have to do, get me out. And that all knew, all the surgeons and doctors knew. They're all like, she's walking out of here on the 18th, I'm telling you, she's out. And so it was one night, it was about the 5th night I was in. And I was in a shared room with 3 other girls. And this lady came in and she was diagonal bed. And she must have came from surgery probably just after tea time, around that time. So I didn't really see her. They put the curtain around her. And anyway, things were pretty quiet. About 9:30, this, the nurse changeover. So they had the changeover. Anyway, it turned out to be a bit of a mess. I don't know who's at fault or whatever, and that's not my place to go. But she's a lady who had... she was in a lot of pain, and you could tell she was in a lot of pain. So heaps of pain going on, and the doctors the nurses were coming in and out for this changeover. And part of the problem was she's very into the alternate medicine. So you sort of got the normal, I don't know how you describe it, the medicine that they give you in hospital. And then she had this whole list of different alternate medicine that she'd brought in. So she was obviously trying to get that. And they were trying to get it, and they were trying to put it on the chart, and it was just a mess. And she's obviously in a lot of agony as well. So you got all this going on. We're all hiding behind our curtains because every curtain's drawn. And then I'm like, we just got to do something. And then I'm thinking, do I go over to this? Like, I've never seen it. I don't know who whatever. And then doctors are there, nurses are there. It's all going on, and I'm thinking, I'm just tired. And then I got a bit cranky. I'm like, just be quiet. I just want to go to sleep. I'm tired. And then I felt, well, you've got the flag. And I'm like, what? Okay, it's all right, God. I'm at home by myself, hiding in the bedroom. Really? I don't even know the woman. Like, it's a bit tense, and it was a bit tense over there because everyone's trying to help, and the nurses were phenomenal, and it's a mess, and it's midnight, and it's all going on, and all I kept thinking was this flag, and I'm thinking, nah, I draw the line. There's got to be a line. Really? What? I can't just open the curtain. I don't even she could be on drips, and I don't know. Anyway, so I go over. I thought I'll just go to the toilet. and just try and see. And so, I don't know, me, big faith, strong and courageous. Woo, let's go. I've already felt this. And I was like, oh, then I was aggravated with myself and I'm like, just go to the toilet. So then I do the strop pass line. Couldn't see a thing. I thought, that's pointless. Anyway, I got back in the bed and I went, maybe I need the flag. And I'm like holding the flag like, that's not going to work. Anyway, I said, okay. And then I put out the fleece. I call them my fleeces. So I said, all right, God, you get rid of everyone over there and I will go over there and give her the flag. I'm pumped. So I sat there on my bed going, no one's left. So I'm not doing it in front of doctors and nurses. This woman could just scream out. I don't know what she's going to do. So I get the flag and I go, righto. And then they all left. You know when that's sudden, when you go, I'll do this if this happens? Don't do that. It always happens. So I walked over and then they all just left. They went, oh, we're going to go and do this. And I'm just like this. I can do this. Pumping myself up. I'm like, God, this is your flag. It's not my flag. What am I doing? This is stupid, right? Let's go. So I went round the corner and I popped my head in. And I said, hey, how you going? Stupid question. How do you think I'm going? I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to say that, you idiot. And I just grabbed a hand. So now you've got like 12:30 at night, she's in agony, doctors are running around, and here's a woman holding a hand with a flag. Great. And so I went in and I said, hi, and I just picked up a hand. I don't know why. I just picked up a hand. I thought, it's way inappropriate, I don't know. And I said, this is going to sound really weird. I just went, just go, just say it, then you can go to bed. I said, look, I'm a Christian. And I said, a friend of mine gave me this flag. And I said, it's a healing flag. I just wanted to give it to you. That's all I said. I didn't say anything. I didn't tell her what to do with it. I didn't even pray. I just went, you can do what you want. You can put it on your little table next to your bed or you can hold, I was like, right, all right, good luck. And went back to bed. Then I'm laying in bed thinking, just giving his flag away. I'm supposed to give it back to him. What if it's sentimental? I don't know. Anyway, I said, I'll deal with that later. And I thought, I don't know what she's going to do. We'll just see. Anyway, next morning, get up, go to the toilet, do the whole sneak in the curtain, look again. She's got it wrapped around her head. So she's wrapped it around her head. And I'm like, well, that worked. Just kept going to the toilet. Came back around, didn't really see her, because she had different people coming in and I could hear that she was heading home that day and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so she called me in. I was walking past in the afternoon. She says, come here. Well, hey, that's good sign. So I went up and here I'm plocked up on the side of it, sitting up on a bed. Like we're best friends. I still didn't know her. I don't even know her name to this day. That's how bad it was. And I said, how are you going? And she said, I've got your flag. And I said, that's nice. I'm thinking, I hope something happened. And she said, I can tell you that flag got me through the night. 100%. She said, I wrapped it around my head. I said, well, that's good. That's good to do, good thing to do. And she said, I could feel this peace. And she said, I know that got me through, that flag. And then she wrapped it up and she had it all nicely folded. Look at me, I've had it with me everywhere. She had it all folded and she said, you need to take this with you because you need this more than I need it and you need it for your healing. And then we chatted about a few other things and I know I'll see her again. I know she'll come and visit and stuff. But there's some of my God moments where I just go, you know what, it's just taking that step. Would you have told me that would have happened? And they can be weird and it can be awkward and it can be, but when it's a God thing and when you go, you know what, I'm just going to step out and do that. You watch what will change. You watch what God will do. He will do it. It's not us, it's not me, it's not the flat, it's God. It's God that comes along and goes, you've said yes, you want to step out. And wherever you are, There's so many God moments for you in your life. God's got a plan for you. God's got a purpose. And sometimes you can hear it so often that you can put it on the back burner or go, oh, that's nice for so-and-so. Well, that's nice for Sue because she had these experiences. This is just my journey. But you've got an amazing journey of what God's doing in your world. And it's even it's just the little God moments. I am so blessed. I've got a joy. My mum prays joy over my life nearly every day. She doesn't pray for healing, she prays for joy. So that works. She always says to me, this is going to be a joyful walk for you. And when she first said it, I thought, what's joyful about this? There's nothing joyful about it. And every day I felt joy. And I felt happiness. Has it been tough? Yes, of course it has. There's no denial in it all. But there's a joy and a peace that God will give you. So my prayer today is find God in your world. You might not even know him. You might go, well, this is just weird people talking about this. He's there and he's real. And he wants to do with you your journey with you. Because you're going to reach people that I'm not going to reach. You're going to make a difference in people's lives. If all of us just went, you know what, every morning wake up and go, what's my God moment today? What can I do? What's the little whisper that's going to come and go, I think you should do this, or I think, and it might be just sitting at home praying. It might be making a cake. It might be just popping across the road to a neighbour that you've never met and it's scary and you go, well, that's awkward. And God will put you in those moments. But when you got him, you are strong and courageous. You are strong and courageous because we've got a city waiting for us. We have a city here that need the love of God in their life. And it's up to us. So I'm going to hand back to Jake. So I hope you got something out of that for my God moments.